welcome to another EDC review on my channel. This time we've got a new offering from Olight. It is the Mini Warrior in black, released in 2020. And before we start, I do have to say that Olight never ceases to impress. They constantly keep on improving their product line, whether if we're talking about the EDC, the tactical or hunting lineups and so on. And that's pretty much part of the reason on why I keep coming back for more. This particular item has similar traits to the S2R baton 2. It's basically a mix-up between the S2R and the M2R, and thus we're going to cover some of the similarities with the S2R as well in a bit. If you haven't checked out the S2R review yet, you can do so by clicking here. And out of the box, the light comes with an instruction manual. Here's a shot of it in case you want to take a closer look. You've got your magnetic charge cable, your nylon lanyard, and then of course there's your torch with the batteries included. What I've got here's the aluminum body version, anodized in black. It comes with a detachable two-way stainless steel clip in blue for tip-up carry only, unfortunately. I mean, they could have added an area down here for reattaching the clip for tip-down carry. I mean, this being a tactical flashlight and all, but in the end it's not a deal breaker for me, at least. You can also find this flashlight in tan or camouflage colors for the aluminum body, and then there's always the copper and titanium alternatives for each season. Right, so the Warrior Mini is 4.19 inches or 106.5 millimeters long and has a bezel diameter of 0.91 inches or 23 millimeters. It weighs in at 3.7 ounces or 105 grams, battery on board. Basically, it's a very compact and easy to carry EDC light. Now, for a quick size comparison with the S2R, I'm going to put them next to each other so you can see them. Okay. The S2R comes in at 3.94 inches or 100 millimeters in length. Bezel diameter is 0.91 inches or 23 millimeters. And its weight sits at around 3.47 ounces or 98.5 grams. So I'd say they're pretty close size and weight wise. The knurling covers a good part of the flashlight. They have gone for a more aggressive pattern on this one compared to the more trapezoidal shape on the S2R. So in the end, it feels really secure in hand, whether if it's used bare-handed or with gloves for that matter. The slide's going nowhere, it's pretty much glued to your hand. So on the top, it features some sort of crenulated type bezel. It's really low profile, but it will give you some grip. It's capable enough to use in a self-defense scenario. It also features a two-stage tail switch, which is specific for tactical use. It's really useful when you need to find that switch real quick in the dark. It's also pretty sturdy and made out of stainless steel. The two-way clip allows you to attach the whole flashlight to the bill of your cap and make an improvised headlamp, leaving your hands free. And also you can stick this to any metallic surface if you so desire, since the tail cap is also magnetic and strong enough to hold the weight of the flashlight. And this feature also allows you to make a lighting setup in the woods with the use of a knife. Now let's go over through on how to operate this thing. So first, you can cycle throughout the mode just by holding the side switch while the flashlight's on. It usually goes low, medium, high. Okay. To enter turbo mode from an off state, you need to double tap. And if you want to use strobe, all you have to do is triple tap. Now, by half pressing and holding the tail switch, it will go to medium mode first, and if pressed all the way through and held, it will enter turbo. And this way the light will turn off immediately right after the switch is released. Okay. Now, to switch between configurations, we've got a configuration 1, which is a half press for medium and a full press for turbo, and configuration 2, which is a half press for medium and full press for strobe. You need to hold the tail switch all the way through and press the side switch once. So now a full press will get you strobe. And in order to go back to configuration 1, you need to fully press the switch. And there we go, we're back to turbo full press. Now Moonlight can be accessed from an off state. You need to press and hold the side switch for 2 to 3 seconds. Now this mode is really dim, but it's really useful for reading or completing small tasks. And good thing about it is that it can run for really long periods of time. And in order to enter lockout mode from an off state, all you have to do is hold the side switch. You will first enter Moonlight mode and then switch off. Okay. Now this will lock both the side switch and the tail switch, unfortunately. And this mode is really useful. This way it won't turn on accidentally while it's in your pocket. And in order to go back normal functionality, all you have to do is hold the switch for 1 to 2 seconds, and then you're good to go again. There are quite a few things that need to be memorized in order to use the flashlight, but some practice will make all the difference in the world. And here's the table I have found on their site that shows how to use each mode. Okay, specification time. Now, for some reason, Olight did not specify the LED type on the product page. I couldn't find any data regarding the LED type or any hints for that matter. On the official product page, it only says high performance LED, so I'm not really sure what to make of it. From what I've read on forums, people speculate this could be a luminous SST40. Now, this unknown LED is centered within a TIR optic that gives the beam a large hotspot, and the corona is almost non-existent. Spill's pretty smooth. It's so smooth that you can't really distinguish the most outer edge of the beam. Okay. The beam has a maximum throw of 190 meters and decent flood, which is quite useful for spotting objects in the near to mid-range distances. Now let's open this up real quick and okay, hold the clip up before you unscrew the body. Here's the O-ring that seals the thread. This product's IPX8 water resistant, so immersion in water beyond 1 meter is possible. It also has an impact resistance of 1.5 meters. And I've seen a lot of torture tests for this torch. It's an absolute tank. You can handle pretty much anything you throw at it. It uses a 18650 lithium-ion rechargeable battery. Its capacity is 3500 milliamp hour. And its average operating voltage sits at around 3.6 volts, ranging from 2.5 to 4.2 volts. And the average time to charge for this battery from a fully depleted state is 250 minutes. Here's the table with the brightness outputs for the Mini Warrior. Now, as you can see, turbo outputs 1500 lumens. That's pretty good. Highs 500, mediums 120 lumens. On low, you're getting 15 lumens. Moonlight will get you 5 lumens, and finally strobe runs at 1500 as well. And right below you can see the associated run times and luminous intensity for each mode. And I really appreciate the fact that you can use the 1500 lumen mode for up to 4 minutes. That's usually when the battery reaches its thermal protection mode, after which the output will drop to 500 lumens for 205 minutes and then to 170 lumens for another 50 minutes. High mode will run for about 218 minutes, after which it will drop to 170 lumens for another 50 minutes. And medium mode can run for 18 hours, and low mode runs for 150 hours, and Moonlight will last you for up to 45 days. And let's see how the Mini Warrior stacks up against the S2R Baton 2. The Baton 2 uses a luminous SST40 CW LED and an 18650 lithium-ion rechargeable battery, total capacity being of 3200 milliamp hour, which is somewhat smaller than the one the Warrior uses. Okay, and as you can see in this table, the S2R gets outperformed luminous flux-wise for a couple of modes, and also the run times are a bit better on the Olight Warrior. For example, turbo has an extra 350 lumens and lasts 2 minutes more. High mode is also brighter and can run for longer. Medium and low lasts longer as well, and moonlight mode gets a bump to 5 lumens and lasts for 45 days. Well, compared to the 0.5 lumens for 60 days on the S2R. And here's a comparison between the two beam shots. This flashlight does have a drawback from what I noticed and seen people talk. Now, for its compact size and output, it does get pretty hot, specifically around the bezel area. It reaches temperatures of somewhere between 100 to 120 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 to 40 degrees Celsius. That's when it runs turbo mode for around 4 minutes. Now, you'll see similar temperatures on the Baton Pro or the S2R, and it's a pretty common fact. That's why it even has an integrated thermal protection mode that drops the lumen count to a safer value in the first place. But in the end, it's nothing to worry about. It's pretty normal. And furthermore, turbo is more of a mode for spotting things real quick, which are a bit further away, or for self-defense use. And most of the times I find myself using the high mode anyway. Price-wise, this aluminum version retails for 80 bucks. Copper goes for 100, and the titanium series sits at around 120 US dollars on their official site. You'll see the links in the description. Now, granted, you'll be able to get these a bit cheaper during special sales or some resellers, and then there's always the secondhand market out there. And all of this being said, I think it's time to wrap this up and go over some pros and cons for this item. Alright, so pros first. The product does meet the output and throw claims. The two-stage tail switch adds a tactical element, which provides quicker access to strobe and turbo, and it's also magnetic and it can stick to surfaces. Operating the torch is pretty easy to pick up. It has a lower price than the Baton Pro, and the knurling is really well designed and placed. As far as cons go, you can only use custom cells with this torch. Standard cells can be used, so that's a bummer. It is designed for tip-up carry only. It reaches pretty high temperatures for prolonged use in turbo. And in the end, I consider this flashlight to be a really good choice for everyday carry, and most of these cons I have pointed out don't really bother me that much, and this is definitely replacing my S2R. The price difference gap isn't that big for these two in my opinion. $10 extra retail will get you higher outputs, increased run times, and tactical capability, and in my opinion it's worth it. And that's pretty much all I had to say about this product. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope it has been useful for you. Don't forget to subscribe in order to stay tuned for more DC videos, and like and comment below for any questions you might have, and I'll see you in the next one.